Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Friday, December 13th, 2024 Board of Education Special Board Meeting for the annual organization of our board. I'd like to, at this time, have you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we're going to be doing the administration of oath of office to our newly elected board of trustees. And we're going to stand here in front of the dais and ask you to come up one at a time. If it's okay with Mr. Banning and Ms. Beal, I'd like to start with Ms. Caffrey. Wonderful. So you want to join me in the front here? We were very organized with missing another meeting. Is this, yes. Okay, well, congratulations and thank you for stepping up to service. Do you, Celeste Caffrey, solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which you are about to enter?
I, Celeste Caffrey, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. You may now take a seat on our dais. Okay. And now, Dr. Beal. Thanks again, Dr. Beal, for all your service and for stepping up, not just as an appointed board trustee, but elected now. Do you, Sunita Beal, solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which you are about to enter?
I, Sunita Beal, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Mr. Banning. Dr. Beal, the last one was at 11 o'clock at night, I believe. Do you, Bill Banning, solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which you are about to enter.
I, William Banning, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So now that we are fully seated as a board, I'd like to open up the organizational part of our. Oh, do we have any public comment? No public comment. Thank you. According to Board Bylaw 9100, to our Board Bylaw 9100, each year the governing board shall hold an annual organizational meeting in any year in which a regular election of the district board members is conducted. The organizational meeting shall be held within 15 days following the second Friday in December after the regular election. At this time, I'd like to ask the Board of Trustees for a nomination of President of the Board.
I nominate Gabe Escobedo for President of the Board.
Are there any other nominations? Mr. Escobedo, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Okay, board members, at this time, I'd like to ask all in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Congratulations, you are now the board president. I'm turning the meeting over to you.
Thank you. At this time, do we have a nomination for Vice President of the Board?
I would like to nominate Mr. Banning as Vice President of the Board.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Do we have to ask for a second? Do you accept the nomination?
I do.
And all in favor for Bill Banning as Vice President?
Aye.
Congratulations. Secretary, Clerk. Do we have any nominations for Clerk of the Board?
I think it should be Rose. I'd like to nominate Rose. She's sitting closest to me.
Are there any other nominations? Rose, do you accept the nomination?
Yes. No, just kidding.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Okay. Now that we got that done, the appointment of superintendent as secretary of the Board of Trustees. Does anyone, do you accept? Are you sure? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is done. Okay, so now we will move to actual business, and that is approval of the 25-26 schedule of Board of Education meetings. Are there any changes, questions, or comments from the board?
Mr. Banning, do you want to point out?
The meeting on December 11th is on a Thursday. I'm reminded that this happens right before the first interim report is due to the county and the state. And so by moving it a couple of days away from our Tuesday time period, it gives the business office more time to be sure that that is ready. And so that's the only exception, I think, to the normal schedule along the meetings here. There were a couple of other changes to accommodate holidays and such, but it's.
If there are no other questions or comments, Do we have a motion to approve the schedule?
I move to approve the schedule of meetings for 25-26.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. It passes. Next, we have our board member committee appointments. You should have a document in front of you with all of the committee appointments and who the current board representative or alternate are for each of the current committees. But now is the time for us to either reassign. We do have to replace Ms. Sims Moten on many of these committees, but I will leave it to the board to Ms. Beal.
I'll just comment for the Special Education Advisory Committee. I was the alternate to Rose. And so I'm just making sure that were you planning to continue, Rose, or?
If you'd like to, serve on that committee, that would be fine with me. That would be great.
Okay, I'd be happy to do that.
Great.
So I think what I'll do is I'll go through one by one and we can either keep them the same if that's what the board wants, or we can switch it up. For audit committee, we have Mr. Banning, and we had Wendy Sims Moten as the alternate. Mr. Banning, are you hoping to stay on the audit committee?
I'd be happy to stay on this committee, yeah.
Is there anyone that would like to be the alternate? Press the button.
I'd be happy to be the alternate.
Point of clarification, I believe we need on the audit.
Oh, it's
Oh.
you?
It's two, yeah, it's
Okay.
two members.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. So we have Mr. Banning and Ms. Caffrey for the audit committee. Is there any objection from anyone else? Nope. So we have the Special Education Advisory Committee. We have Dr. Beal as a representative. For sustainability, it's myself. I'm happy to stay on that one if everyone else is okay with that. Not
I
seeing.
would like to be the alternate
Okay.
in case.
So myself with Ms. Munoz as the alternate. We have the DEMLAC committee, the District Emergent Multilingual Learner Advisory Committee, which is Ms. Munoz. Do you
Yes,
hope
I
to
would
stay on?
like to continue.
Okay. Any objections? Nope. The Housing Ad Hoc Committee, this is one that I'm hoping to stay on, and then we need a second member to be a part of that committee.
I'd be very interested in being on the committee.
Was there a conflict of interest because of the Housing Authority?
Not
Not anymore? Okay,
Mhm.
perfect. No objections from the board, so we'll move on to the Santa Barbara County Committee on School District School District Organization. Mr. Banning?
Okay, so I need to, I need to clarify this. I was asked to be excuse me, a full member of the committee, which is separate from being the district rep. I'm not allowed to serve in both capacities, so we would need somebody separate to be the representative of the district to that committee. It's not, they meet 2 or 3 times a year, but the representatives only come when there's something that's affecting the particular school district, so.
Would you mind clarifying what you do on that committee?
The Committee for School District Organization is a county committee that is made up of representatives I think it's 2 people from each supervisory district that oversee any changes in boundaries of school districts. So for example, if districts chose to unify, or if there was a shift in boundaries, I think that they were very much involved in the creation and approval of the trustee area type of things. So it's a committee that they meet 3 or 4 times a year to take care of their business, but they ask for each district to have a representative that would come to the meeting if this district, if Santa Barbara Unified were to be affected by any of those changes. So up until the time of trustee areas, it was a committee that basically met very seldom, and never in my experience in Goleta was the rep really ever put forth to come to the meetings. So.
Do we have anyone that would like to replace Mr. Banning on the Santa Barbara County Committee on School District Organization?
Yeah.
I'll serve on that committee.
Great.
Thank you, Celeste.
Next, we have Santa Barbara County School Boards Association. Right now, it's Ms. Munoz. Do you hope to stay on that?
I would like to.
Okay. Any objection, or is it an alternate?
I'd be interested in that committee as well. If Ms. Munoz would accept me as an alternative, I would be happy to do that.
Okay. Perfect. So we have Ms. Munoz and as the primary, Mr. Banning as the alternate. Next, we have the Santa Barbara Education Foundation, and we had Ms. Sims Moten. And this is primary and alternate, I'm guessing, not two members. Okay, so Ms. Sims Moten was the primary, Mr. Banning was the alternate. Mr. Banning, would you like to be the primary?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And then do we have anyone that would like to be an alternate?
I would be happy to.
Thank you. Next up, we have the South Coast Task Youth Partnership Safety Committee. I am the primary and happy to stay so, but we need another alternate, and it was Ms. Sims Moten previously.
How often do they meet?
I'll be honest, I had not been invited to one meeting.
Okay.
I want to say that they meet once a month, but there's several layers of this group. So there's the regular meeting with district people, and then I think the more of the policy part of the youth task force is not as often.
Okay,
That's why you haven't seen too many invites.
or any, but yeah. But yeah, happy to stay as the primary if there's anyone that wants to be the alternate.
Is there anyone else that would like to be the alternate? I don't want to. If anyone else would like to be the alternate.
Well, based on the amount of times they're meeting that you're going, I'll be happy to do that.
All right. So I will be the primary. Mr. Banning will be the alternate. Next, we have Adelante Charter School, which was Mr. Banning. Are you hoping to stay?
The Monday meetings have been conflicting with some other activities. So if there's someone else that would step into that role, I would appreciate it. I could stay on as the alternative, but I have had to miss a couple of them.
Is there anyone that's able to make the Monday meetings? What time are they on Monday?
I think they're at 6
Okay.
p.m. and there is a virtual Zoom option.
If they're at 6 p.m., I should be able to make that. And
Okay.
how often do they occur?
They're monthly.
Okay.
Thank you, Sunita. I appreciate it.
And Mr. Banning, would you like to be the alternate?
Sure.
Okay. And then Santa Barbara Charter School, we have Ms. Munoz. Would you hope to stay as the
Yes.
representative? Next up, we have the Legislative Affairs Committee. It's 2 members, and we need to replace Ms. Sims Moten. Ms. Beal, are you hoping to stay on that committee?
I would be happy to stay on the committee.
Do we have another representative?
I'd be happy to. Is that as an alternate or is that a full member?
Full member. Next, we have Counselors ASCA Committee, and Ms. Beal, you are the member.
I would like to continue. I just started.
Perfect. And then we have the Committee Advancing Black Achievement, Wellness, and Excellence. This is the new committee. I'm hoping to be the representative for this one, if everyone's okay with that.
Okay, and there's only one representative on that one? Oh, okay, okay.
But we might be able to have an alternate if you're
Yeah,
interested.
certainly.
okay.
Okay.
So that gets us through all of the committees.
Sorry, can you just tell us if I remember this correctly and tell me if I said it wrong earlier? The South Coast Task Youth Partnership Safety Committee has 2 levels. There's a staff meetings that you go to once a month, and then there's a policy legislative type meeting that happens. And do you know how often? Because we have not really seen that happen too much.
Yeah, so the South Coast Youth Safety Partnership has a strategy team meeting and a policy team meeting. They're both monthly. I participate and attend the strategy team meeting. And I don't know what the board member seat is for, which subcommittee they're on.
Can we get clarification after the meeting?
Sure.
Just when we're supposed to attend.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
You happen to know the pattern, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays? anything like that,
The strategy team meetings are on Thursdays. We just met yesterday. Yeah,
during the day?
during the day.
Okay, we'll get more information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Schindler.
Okay, so we have our Board of Trustees committee assignments. Do we have a motion to approve them?
I move to approve the committee assignments as decided.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Are there any comments? I'm not seeing any. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It passes. All right, so now we have adoption of resolution 2024-25-15, delegation of governing board powers, duties, authority to make cash and budget transfers, and submission of authorized signature forms to the county, Santa Barbara County Education Office. We don't have a presentation? Yeah.
It's not a formal presentation, it's procedural.
Congratulations, everybody. So this is just, it's a procedural process of, once we have the new board members all in place, that you all approve this resolution for myself and Lacey Preston to be able to, manage the cash and the budgets of the district. So here's the resolution.
Great. Do we have any questions or comments about the resolution?
Is this an annual resolution? It is. It's just a procedural annual.
It's yes, procedural. For members that are new, commercial warrants are basically the same thing as bills, checks. It's just the terminology for that. So in case you were wondering.
Great, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the resolution?
I move for the adoption of resolution 2024-25-15, delegation of governing board powers and duties, authority to make cash and budget transfers, and submission of authorized signature forms to the Santa Barbara County Ed Office.
I second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any comments on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and so that is today's business. Congratulations, everyone. And we will call the meeting. Oh,
Do we want to talk about coming
yes,
events?
you're right.
And a possible board study session and schedule?
yes. Okay, so we would like to do a board study session, and I'm hoping that everyone's calendars are up to date and that we can pick a date in January, early January. Dr. Maldonado, do you recall which date we were looking at?
Yes, we were looking at the dates of possibly January 25th or February. These are Saturdays, everyone. January 25th or February 1st. But if someone thinks or would like to offer other dates for consideration, we're open to that as well. These are some of the dates we looked at for staff.
I would prefer to avoid the February 1st date.
Does January 25th work for the board?
It works for myself.
Works for, it looks like it works for everyone, January 25th.
We will put that on the calendar. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. So now we will call this meeting done at 4:58. We beat the hour.